All right, y'all, let's get into the short game and the long game and connect some points together with these eggs that are cracking open and just the big picture, okay? So X marks the spot. X marks the spot on 2023, 24, and 25. Why? Because 2000, 2001, 2002, they're all the start of the millennium, depending on the count. And 2002 is the playoff year, the final year, where DeSantis comes in and plays off the past and builds up the new with the new 10 horns and takes us into the empire, okay? Now, some of us have been given the vision. The 2020 vision is what I call it, around the end of 2019 and such. And it has shown us some things, and some of us have used our talents. Some of us have not. Some of us have sat on our talents or whatever, okay? But these things have been shown. Some people don't even know what they were shown. They were just seeing a bunch of numbers at the time. So, depending on whatever, depending on who you are, your situations, your name, your numbers, things that connect to you in your own life will depend on how much you can see and how much of the wormhole you can go down, all right? And some of us are able to see the far infrared vision, the long game, all right? We were shown the short game in the vision, but now we can see the long game, and that's where you see the heat of the dawn and then the day, the heat of the day coming for the hell on earth. And then you see the cool of the night for Harry and William and those types of things coming for the millennial reign, for when the generation of the millennials, they start to get into power, all right? And then that's when you get into, from 2015 to 2035, that's the end game as far as America and the world and the Great Reset and all that. And by 2036, when Don's 90, we'll be going into the double 666 old heaven, and then 2037, that will be the full-blown meta, where we're all into the meta, all right? I'm talking about Beastman or whatever, all right? I don't know what's necessarily going to happen to the elect and the remnant and the watchmen, because it says that the elect are gathered, all right? So we'll see how all that plays out. That can be done through an alien abduction or however, because the aliens are Jesus, all right? The whole world is being deceived about blue beam or talking about fallen angels or Nephilim garbage or whatever, all right? That's all stuff so you don't recognize your creator. So when the creator's here, you're still worshiping Satan and Bel worship and all this other crap, all right? All right, so the short game. The short game ties to Don's wrath. A dawn means the Lord. The Lord's wrath is coming, and he's pissed because the people did not rise up to protect his seat on the crown, all right? And you're going to feel the wrath, and you didn't use your guns then, so he's going to make you put your guns to the use now. And this is when the X marks the spot on Texas. All the guns in Texas and in the South and all that are going to be put to test, because the Red Dawn invasion is coming, okay? Now, Little Rocket Man. First off, there's going to be 2 crosses. There's 3 crosses total, all right? And us as the people, we're being hung on the cross, all right? And then Biden's going to be hung on the cross for like treason, and then Kamala will be hung on the cross for whatever she's going to do. But we see this Trojan horse taking place in our nation in different ways, and they're transporting the Trojan horse all throughout the nation in different ways, and they're letting us know they're doing it in different ways. And so they're setting it all up like this. We see the different things being taken out in the trains. We see miniature EMPs being taken out locally with guns, shooting infrastructure, and just different things, okay? We see China in the skies. We see bombers in the skies. We're getting all this stuff that we've been warned about by certain people, okay? So the eggs are cracking open, and the hell on earth is about to hit. And The first abomination of I expect there probably to be an abomination of desolation for 2023, 24, and 25. But as it gets further and further into the time zone, it's going to be harder and harder to move because the infrastructure of our nation is being taken out and it's going to be built back better, okay? But it takes a while to build back better, and that's from like 2025, 2026 to 2025. So 2026 to 2036 would be the build back per se. So this abomination, a desolation with the first one could be from Little Rocket Man. And Little Rocket Man is Kim Jong-un for the Un effect, and that could help get in the UN to America or however they're going to work it. But they're going to come out with double and triple whammies to where it's going to keep people in delusion. They don't know what to think, okay? So this first rocket, all right, it's very good chance to either be a tidal wave blast on the West Coast or the Gulf or the East Coast or however, but it could be like where it looks like a natural occurrence, but it's actually an attack, okay? And this could be like a tidal wave and those kinds of things in the water. Or it could be the bomb in the middle of the nation, or like in the Bible Belt, OKC area or Dallas area or Houston or that type of thing, where or like 2 cities or 11 cities and such, that kind of thing, okay? But either way, so when the first bomb comes, this, because it says when you see these things, okay, so we're going to see some things, and then we're going to know to leave, because it says when you live in Judea, which is the Bible Belt, the Deep South, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all those areas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, you're going to want to leave, all right? So the abomination of desolation is going to happen, and this can start a fire that can't be put out, all right? And this is where we're kind of going to see things happen. And if they say like start anything like that, like this is a huge fire, we can't put it out, we don't know how we're going to put it out, blah blah blah, that's your cue to go, okay? Any one of these big bomb events, you should probably just go to the mountains for 5 days, okay? Because when the little rocket hits, the big rocket is coming afterwards, or there's a big thing coming afterwards, all right? And this big thing is like how the fire can't be put out, and the gas lines and the oil lines and all that will eventually rupture and explode and go up the middle of the nation and divide the nation literally before it divides spiritually and physically, okay? Or spiritually with the votes and all this other stuff. So this is where you'd get like, as time goes, it's going to be harder and harder to travel and get to where you want to go. And eventually you're going to be stuck, okay? I had a client named Ron Woolman. He lived in China. He was a DJ over there. He used to come to me and get his hair cut like every 6 months or whatever, okay? And his hair highlighted. He used to tell me about China. But those kinds of things are coming here. And the majority of people in China do not travel more than a quarter mile away from where they were born, all right, their whole life, because everything is just right there in consolidated form, okay? So that's kind of how the meta is going to be. It's going to be right there where you just don't need to travel anywhere. So, so as the meta needs to come forward, they're going to break down the storage and the stores and lock it down in different ways and fashions. This can be done through war. This can be done through viruses. This can be done through however they need to turn in the red planet, okay? We see the trains taken out. The trains are being taken out. However, once the Euphrates, that's the Euphrates drying up. So once the Euphrates dries up, the cars diminish, your goods diminish, all this stuff goes, okay? So the first bomb in the nation from the little rocket man, it seems like it's very, very close. Like, it seems like it very likely to happen before summer, all right? But we'll see how they take this. But know that there's 3 eggs for 2000, 2 eggs for 2001, 2 eggs for 2002. So there's 3 huge eggs for 2023, the TCB year, taking care of business. And that's the 223. That's for Elvis, the King Spirit, at 88. And then you have the 2024, 2 eggs, 2025, 2 eggs, and all those eggs are going to collapse the system and collapse the foreheads, and they're going to rebuild the temple and rebuild the foreheads and rebuild the heart and all those little things. Okay, so it's all right there right there in front of us, and the dawn, his wrath is going to start very, very soon. Okay, we're going to go into 88, and then by the middle of 89. The trilogy, Biff Tannen burned the nation, and that's where you get part of these fires that can't be burned out, and all those little things, folks. So there's going to be some crazy shit happening soon, and it's going to be very tearful, and there's going to be a lot of laughs, and all the stuff they do in Hollywood, they're going to be bringing to real life because they need to rebuild the temple and they need to rebuild reality. And in order to rebuild reality, they are going to bring the movies to real life. And this is where you get the tell a vision, the visions that's locked up in Daniel, because the tell a vision is telling us things, and they're telling this to the masses. Now they're reporting this on the masses with White Noise and the train wreck. They're reporting it with The Last of Us, the zombie flick that's on the HBO network. So all that's telling you all things, all right? So The Last of Us is showing us how all these cars are trying to get out and they're all stuck on the highway, or there are people blasted or whatever. It's the exact same things that I've been telling you all is coming. There's going to be a time you're going to give an alarm and you're going to have to leave. You're going to have to leave all your shit behind and you're going to have to go, because it's going to be the critical race. There's going to be some people running naked. There's going to be some people running dressed. And depending where you live, depends on whatever, okay? So let's get into this bomb real quick, first off. So I told y'all there's going to be like a 8.5, that's the 85 starting off, and then the 10.0, all right? These can be symbolic for different things. Like the 10.0 can be the new 10 horns coming in for DeSantis and shaking the whole world up, okay? This is where you have to have the eyes and the ears to be able to see things, because the visions that we're shown sometimes may not necessarily reflect reality, and the dreams we're shown may not necessarily reflect reality, but things are lining up to where these things are meeting, to where we have to be on point. If they do go hard, we got to go to the hard 8, or however it goes, okay? So let's talk about the bombs real quick, why we need to flee Judea, all right? So in Judea, all right, we have a sandy loam soil. This sandy loam soil, all right, the soil vibrates and ricochets, all right, and aftershocks. So when this 8.5 nuke hits, all right, or this 10.0 nuke hits days after or months after or whatever, or Little Rocket Man could hit first and then China hit a year later or whatever, however it goes. But this soil, okay, even if it hits in the Gulf, in the water and stuff, it has the ability to shake the earth. And this shaking the earth is going to break the dams in those areas, okay? When those dams break, that is the replay of the flood and the dam and the Eve and all that stuff, okay? This is why you need to go to the mountains. You got to go to the high ground, because everywhere in America has been built under a dam for the most part, and it's all set up for failure, okay? So as the dams are going to break, there's going to be a critical race like no other in some of these areas, okay? And if a 10.0 bomb hits, let's say, Oklahoma City, okay, or Missouri or whatever, that will affect 1,000 miles around the center point, all right, and will break those dams. And that's where you have the problem in the restructuring of America and the pictures of future of America where it's all underwater and things. It's all tying to these things that's showing to us, okay? So these times are right now, and it's about to break open big time.